All right, joined by City Councillor, former Mayor Steve Black, who took in a pretty exciting, I would imagine, adrenaline-filled two games down in Toronto, Game 6 and Game 7. You got to be in the building for both elimination games of the ALCS, Toronto Blue Jays, Seattle Mariners. Wow, I can't speak all of a sudden. That's okay. We're all tired, I think, after last night's game. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it was definitely a great weekend road trip with my son. Definitely two very distinct feelings between the game. Game six was like nonstop adrenaline. Everyone was happy from start of the game, 10 to the game. We had quite control of that game. We got into a couple tough innings there with bases loaded, but got out of both with double plays, back-to-back innings. So the stadium was just loud from, first pitch right to the end of the game with us having command of that game. Game seven, a little more stressful, a little more, what's going on here? They were hitting Bieber around pretty good. A lot of outs, but a lot of long fly ball outs, and just an uneasy feeling for most of the game as they got an early lead and carried it through to that magical seventh inning with Springer.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about that because it like the crowd was kind of quiet watching on TV. It felt the crowd was a little, out of it almost. Then Springer comes up and it was just unglued from the TV. I can't imagine. Could you even hear the person next to you at that point? Like, how loud was that?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think the crowd at home was probably more out of it than the crowd in the stadium, but there was like an uneasiness and a quiet kind of rallying of "Let's go Blue Jay" chants every now and then. And then once that inning started, and we got a couple of people on base, you got everyone back up on their feet, just hoping for that magical moment. And as soon as he hit it, the place just went nuts. The roof could have blown off, but it was pretty incredible.
Watching from home, the announcers were saying, if they're going to do it, this is the time, this is the at bat, this is the guy that can do it. Was that the feeling amongst the crowd too? I'm trying to, I felt that at home, but I don't know if it was a little bit of bias because the announcer said it. Did you guys all kind of think, all right, it has to be now or never?
Well, I was actually texting with a friend who was at the game too, and I was commenting how the bats weren't really rolling that day going into the inning, and then we got a couple of people on, and he texted me said you were saying, and I said, hold on, we need one more, and then Springer hit the homer, so you could feel something good was going, and you were just hopeful that that moment was going to come. It was like a Jose Bautista, home run moment
Sure.
all over again almost.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of excitement when the Jays get into the playoffs. That's for sure. So,
Yeah, no, it was pretty good, right? Like even I was walking back out after the game and met a couple who flew in from Alberta just for the game, right? So
wow.
it is Canada's team, and you had people from coast to coast that came there to watch it, and people tuning in across the country on their TV as well. So it was interesting to see the people and where they came from to take in that moment.
How long once the game ended before you finally left the stadium? Because it looked like half an hour later, it looked like there were still 45,000 people in the stands.
Yeah, I think we were probably there for about 45 minutes after, maybe an hour after, going through the whole trophy presentation and then just hanging around and enjoying the moment with the fans and the players on the field and watching them enjoy it, right? So, and to be honest with you, the celebration continued after you got outside the arena. I think the by the time we had walked all the way to the Chelsea hotel, which is about a 35-minute walk, you can still hear horns honking from the downtown core, right? So it was
Yeah.
a pretty incredible atmosphere inside and outside the stadium.
Well, I know there was people climbing lampposts and waving flags around, yelling some not so great things about the Dodgers to come in the World Series.
Yeah, we got that one as soon as we walked out the door. I think that's going to be an interesting series. When you got Shohei Ohtani, it's a pretty dynamic event, but we got a pretty solid team, and I'm hoping we can pull it off.
I got to say, when the Jays win the World Series, let's be positive on this one. They've gone through Judge, Raleigh, and Ohtani. Like, if you're going to be the best, you got to be the
Yeah,
best, right? That's an intense three teams.
yeah, that's for sure, right? No one can say you don't deserve it if you knock off those three. So let's hope it happens. And tried to get tickets this morning on the original sale for the World Series. Not so lucky. I think I was 40,000 in the queue, and all my friends were texting as well. There's spots in the queue. So if we go, it's going to have to be the resale purchases, which can get quite pricey.
Yeah, I heard somebody, a friend of mine's friend, got some in the 200 level somewhere in the outfield. They're like $1,700 a ticket. So they're not cheap this time around.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be one of those calls, whether you head down for a game and try and pick up the last minute kind of resales when people are trying to dump them at the 10, 15 minutes before the game starts. So
Yeah,
we'll see. But even those, I don't think will be cheap for the World Series. So
probably
uh,
not. I
t-
think.
Tough call to make. It might be on the big screen at home.
Hey, that can be just as good though, right?
For sure.
Right on. Well, safe drive back. I know you're already about halfway home. What time did you leave this morning? Like that's a long drive to be. You're the
We
Watershed.
left pretty much after we got back out of the game, and then picked a few rest stops along the way to take a few naps. So it's been a long evening, but getting home for some activities tonight.
Right on. Well, safe drive the rest of the way. Thanks for joining me. And that's going to be some memories. I think you and your son are gonna. That's lifelong. Absolutely right.
Sounds yeah. I think you had a great time. It was a special moment for us too. We really enjoyed the time together.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining me, Steve. Have a great rest of your day and a great drive back up to Timmins here.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Go Jays, go.